This is a lot of fun. I'm Julie Slavitt. I'm the Executive Director of the Tacony-Tacony-Frankford Watershed Partnership. And I want to welcome everyone. This is our first ever virtual networking reception, and we are very excited about it. You know, this is a way for us to support our supporters and to thank our supporters. So, you know, this is a virtual event for our networking group, our partner alliance, which is our supporters that that provide support to us throughout the year. And we usually bring you all together live at our Milestones event and then again in the fall. And we were very sad about not being able to do that. And we wanted to still make sure that you had a chance to schmooze and that we had a chance to thank you. So that's why we put together this opportunity. And we thought it would be fun for people that are, some of us who are working from home, to get to be together. So we are excited because we're going to get to hear from our featured guest, Commissioner Randy Hayman. And I just want to give you a little bit about the sort of the flow here. After that, we're going to do a quick icebreaker as our group, so you'll get to see everybody. And then we're going to break into rooms for 15 minutes and talk about, to get to know each other a little bit better, and then we'll come back at the end to be together as a group. So I'm really proud of TTF because in the last 2 months, we have really figured this stuff out, like a lot of people. And I'm really proud that we know how to put people in rooms and bring people together this way. I'm so proud of the staff for their creativity and flexibility. It's been really wonderful to see. So we're excited to hear from the commissioner. You started with us just about a year ago, and came to us with a lot of experience with water utilities in DC and St. Louis, and as an environmental lawyer. And we are really excited to hear from you and see, talk about working with you and to talk about how things have been going. We have seen you a lot on social media, which has been very encouraging. So thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I have to say it's been a very warm welcome. I've even told my family that to go to a new city, a major city like Philadelphia, and be welcomed the way I have by City Hall, by the City Council, by the groups like yourselves, it's just been wonderful and heartwarming, very heartwarming. And then I landed in an organization that has a strong history and has some very dedicated individuals who are dedicated to the health and safety of our water system. And so I couldn't be prouder, and I couldn't think of any place else I'd want to be after coming here. So I'm excited. But also, too, I want to take a moment and applaud your group. And I want to raise the energy a little bit because God knows we're in our own homes all the time, quietly working. I know I am. And no one has to worry about me working an 8-hour day because your laptop is in your lap all evening. So you look up, it's 10 o'clock, midnight, you're still sending an email to someone. And so I know we're all working hard, but I do want to applaud you. The Tacony-Frankford reception is exceptional to do that today in honor of the partnership alliance that you have. Now, I have been involved in water for 15 years. I was general counsel for the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District for 10 years. I was general counsel for DC Water for 5. I was environmental attorney for about 4 years. And I say all that to say there is no other city that takes hold of water and is part of, and the community is part of the water infrastructure, that they're part of the conversation, that the businesses are part of the green initiatives that's going on, they're part of cleaning the parks and the streams. Nowhere I've been. Now DC, you can talk about it, and it has Congress and it has the home of the president and all, but it is second or third to the work that you do and the way that individuals here take on leadership in the water community, that they roll up their sleeves, and they're very active. So I once again applaud TTF for all that you do. On behalf of PWD, I'm thrilled to be in good company, in the good company of the businesses and organizations that recognize the support and the work that TTF Watershed partnership does on a daily basis to connect residents to their local creeks. TTF helps forge a strong bond between residents in the watershed through public engagement and experiential learning. Individuals, the kids, that's especially wonderful when the children do it, but also the adults get a chance to get their hands dirty, to get involved in projects, to really become part of the water infrastructure and our goals. The resulting bonds are lifelong and further the health and vitality of the TTF watershed. In 2000, the Philadelphia Water Department launched the TTF Watershed Partnership, a groundbreaking effort to connect diverse stakeholders as neighbors and stewards of the watershed. The partnership was integral in developing the TTF Integrated Watershed Management Plan, a blueprint for restoring this urban stream into a community asset while addressing the mandated requirements of the Federal Clean Water Act and the MS4 program. In 2005, TTF became an independent nonprofit dedicated to watershed advocacy and engagement. And under Julie's leadership and her team's hard work and dedication, TTF has grown to be a formidable champion for the watershed residents and water resources. Again, I've monitored, I've been involved in 2 major cities. What you're doing is unique. Don't take it for granted. Continue to push forward and continue to do positive things because you are making a positive difference. And Julie is a strong leader and a strong voice for TTF. She came to visit me when I first started here in Philadelphia. And so she's made TTF's presence known. And I appreciate the warm welcome that she gave me. And I appreciate her leadership. And I know too that individuals from Philadelphia Water are also involved with TTF and help in guiding and adding support. And I'm very proud of their activities. Let me share with you a few examples of TTF's continuing accomplishments. Recipients of the William Penn Foundation's grant funding under its regional Delaware River Watershed Initiative. Implementer and steward of nearly 20 GSI projects in Montgomery and Philadelphia counties. Convener of the municipal task force whose members are responsible for meeting the obligations for achieving clean waterways. Facilitator of the Citizen Science-Based Streamkeeper program, creator of the Creek Force One, the Blue Heron decaled van that enables the quick mobilization of TTF programming. You got to get there somehow. And these are just a few of the examples. And TTF does so much more for the watershed and the communities within it. So let's all pledge to continue our support for TTF, particularly in these challenging times when human interaction with nature is a lifesaver. I think this about nature. Nature is a natural de-stressor. I always enjoy big cities. Summertime, I like to go to beaches. But as a kid, I also had a chance to go to Yellowstone. And the school I went to in high school was John Burroughs, which is named after the naturalist and writer John Burroughs. And they had some land called dry land, a logger that left like 100 acres to the school. So between 7th grade and being a senior, we would go to Camp Dryland and just learn to appreciate nature. I was a city kid, but I appreciated the clean streams, be able to get into the streams and to wade in the streams. And I think that also helped me to develop an appreciation for our ecosystem and for our water system. So I wish the best to Julie and her team and the Partner Alliance Network. Continue doing what you're doing. You're second to none, and what you're doing is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I'm glad. I'm so glad that our staff and we have board members on, and it takes a team to get all this work, done, and to keep, keep each other motivated. It's a tough time, so we're trying some different things, and really trying to think out of the box, and that takes a certain level of energy and creativity, like I said. So, and we don't know where we would be without the water department. So, it's a wonderful partnership.
It is.
It definitely is.
Absolutely. And like I said, don't take yourselves for granted. So often we work hard and we're just in our own silo, in our own tunnel, and we think, well, does anyone see it? Is it appreciated? Am I making a difference? The answer is you are. And we do see it, and we do appreciate it. And I believe very strongly the community appreciates the results.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it. So thank you for taking the time. I know you probably have a whole bunch of other things to do. Please don't work till 10 o'clock tonight, though.
I'll try not to. I'll try not to. But I'll stay with you for a little bit to listen in. I appreciate it.
That would be great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right. So I have instructions here. I did forget to say that if you have a technical issue, you can raise your hand. You know, there's those cute things on the bottom that let you put a hand up, the reactions down there on the bar. So you can do that, or you can also chat to Rita, who is our technical guru and will help get everything solved. We're also asking folks to stay in gallery view so that we can really see, oops, did I just mess up what I was doing? So everybody can see each other. And this is a wonderful, it's really nice to see everybody. I do love gallery view. So now what we want to do is we want to go around. We ask people to, if they were able to, some of you guys, come on. We wanted to ask you folks to come up with a virtual background because it's kind of fun to talk about that. So for those of you who do have a virtual background and those of you who don't, we still want to, we will still welcome you as well. So I'm gonna, and we're gonna shoot it to the next person. So I'm just gonna go real quick. I am along the trail into Pony Creek Park. And I'm gonna throw this to Joanne because she really has like the best virtual background, I think.
Well, Emily on this saying we got virtual background together, but I'm glad you did, Emily, because it taught me how to do this. So I think I said to a number of you earlier that I'm a big fan of beaches and of penguins, and I got to experience both when I was in South Africa this past October. So I thought, I want to be in my happy place. I'm in my happy place when I'm working with TTF, and also when I'm on the beach, and when I'm surrounded by penguins. It's that simple. So
who do you
virtual background to throw this to?
Yeah,
some really nice backgrounds, but it looks like Andrea has something fiery behind her.
Yeah, so yeah, as you saw, I was like cycling through because I'm on Zoom a lot. So depending on how things are going, we choose all sorts of things. Like if it's, you know, like everything's going to shit, right? We switch to this. There's the Titanic going down, right?
Oh no.
Or, you know, it's like the end of the day, we decide to go to the bar.
That is a lot of fun.
So yeah, we do lots of things. So anyway, I ended on this one. So about a year ago, my younger daughter and I went to see BTS, which is like the biggest free and popular boy band in the world, at MetLife Stadium. And it was amazing, just totally amazing. And what you can see here where like everything is red is because you can buy what's called a light stick. And then your light stick is Bluetooth programmable. So you tell it what seat you're in, and then you're part of the light show. And so like you can see that most of the people's light sticks are red at this point, but they're switching to green. So you can see a couple of the green light sticks because they're, like I said, you're part of the light show. So it's like all controlled by the light crew. So anyway, that's my background.
That's pretty cool. And will you just say who you are and where you work?
So I'm Andrea Welker, and I'm at Villanova University, and I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs there and a professor in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department.
And who should go next, Andrea?
So I am going to go with, let's see, and it has to be someone with a virtual background. So I'm going to go with Sally Carty.
I didn't even have to work up this background. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of had it as just there. So I'm Sally Cardy. I'm the admin director for University of Pennsylvania Masters of Environmental Studies and Masters of Applied Geosciences programs. More importantly, I am the mother of 3 children, and I cannot believe I'm trapped in the house with them. And every day we had to go on a COVID-19 meeting with the dean of all things. And my mission each day was to have a background that would make her have a comment about it. And this was the only one that succeeded. So I'm sticking with it. And I am going to pass on to Glenn.
I'm trying to load one, so if you give me a second. Right now, I'm just sitting in my my 1-bedroom that's set up as my home office. So I don't have a background, but I will, you'll see in a moment if I can figure out how to do this. When hiking on Saturday, Ridley Creek State Park, and so I was going to share a photo from that because it was just so beautiful to be outside and in the woods. So after being cooped up at home day in and day out. So I will try to attempt to do that, but let me see. Let's go on to Emily.
Sure. Hi, I'm Emily Wetzel from TTF, and my background is Creek Force One. So it's our band that we got last year, and we put our mascot, the great blue heron, on the side, and it's just makes me so happy to see it. It was a proud moment for us, it's weird not seeing it every day, so it's behind me now. I'm going to pass it along to Dottie.
So I'm Dottie Baumgarten. My business is called Sustainable Choices LLC. And my computer doesn't support virtual backgrounds. So I've figured out the zooming so that my background is green curtains. And since I do a lot of watershed education, I got a map of the Philadelphia watershed with all the schools in it. So I put some effort into my background here. So yeah, TTF is great to work with. I live in the same territory as TTF is and have been involved with it way back from when it started. I think my husband was one of the first ones to help do a planting or a pickup trash when it was just getting started at the very beginning. And we done some picking up trash and some vine cutting even over this COVID-19 thing. So we're feed in with education and with doing watershed things. So so Rita, did you go yet? Okay, you're on.
I can go. Okay, thank you. So I'm Rita Yelda. Hello, everybody. I am the communications tech support kind of help for TTF. So with the TTF crew today, my background is this lovely Baltimore Oriole. And I think somebody from TTF, probably somebody in this meeting, took this beautiful picture. It was taken at the park. And see Julie pointing at somebody. It was taken at the park, and this is beautiful. This is one of our recent Instagram posts. So I do the Instagram for TTF. I always like to have really pretty, colorful pictures on there of what's happening within the watershed. People like to see those, spring pictures, wildlife, plants. It's really nice to see when you're scrolling in your feed. And this is one of our recent posts, and it's absolutely beautiful. Such a stunning shot of this gorgeous bird right here in Philly. So it is my background. I absolutely love birds. I have a bird feeder on my front porch, and I love to watch the birds come to me. We get a lot of cardinals and some smaller birds. I got a woodpecker this morning, a red-bellied woodpecker, so that was really cute. Sometimes some smaller birds come by too. So I'm going to pass it to who hasn't gone yet that has a background. Laura, have you gone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's yours, Laura.
Thanks. Hi. Here, I'll go like that, and then you can see my background better. My name is Laura Reale, and my company is Aqua Reale, and we build ponds, as you can see. So that's a picture that a photographer took at one point that we also use in social media, and there's a couple lily pads and a couple fish. because that's what we do. And I've known Jolie, gosh, more than 15 years, I'd say. Because I remember my daughter was like in preschool and she's 18. So then I've known Sue just as long, I think. Sue Myroff, our kids they were 2 together. Hers was 4, mine was 2. So I've been around a long time in the Jenkintown area. We are in a place very, very fortunately right now that we were able to up our financial commitment. So we chose Tocconie Watershed to do some additional donations to. And then Jolie asked me to be on this call. So thanks, Jolie.
Very welcome. Who do you want to go next, Laura?
I'll pick Sue because I know her.
Thanks, Laura. Nice to see you. Yes, I have a wonderful background on my bedroom up here. I have tried many times to put virtual backgrounds, and I understand I'm supposed to have a blank wall or something behind me, but if I had one back here, I was trying to put up Lake Tahoe, which I was able to visit a couple of years ago. I was going to something called River Rally, which is this national conference for river folks, and it was the first time I'd ever been out to that part of the country. It's an incredible place if you've ever been out there. But that's what would have been behind me. But I just kind of I disappear, and it's kind of weird. But anyway, my name is Susan Myroff. I am the Watersheds Program Director for the Pennsylvania Environmental Council. We're represented on the advisory board for TTF. My other hat as a citizen, I am the board secretary for TTF and have been for more years than I'm not going to say how many years, but very proud board member since really TTF became a nonprofit. And I just love this organization and what they're doing for the watershed. I live in the upper sort of the headwaters area in Abington Township, but really happy to be here and see so many familiar faces and some new ones as well. So hi. Oh, and I'll pitch it to, how about Nate?
All right. Thank you, Susan.
Sure.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Nathan from TTF. I've been having some struggle issues with this virtual background as well, but the picture I would have chose would have been the Fisher's Lane Bridge. It's one of my favorite places in the Tocconie Creek Park, and it's where I go to think and get some work done. So, yes, I'm going to pass it off to Dorian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dorian the Angel. I'm the community watershed leader for the Tocconie Frankfurt Watershed Partnership. And I don't have a virtual background, but I do have, this is a painting I did a few years back. It's a triptych, and it's inspired by autumn. It's called Autumn Wind, something that I enjoyed doing a while back. All right, and I will pitch it to, who hasn't gotten? Susan Harris.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Harris, and I also don't have a virtual background, but I bring you my backyard as my background. So I'm sitting outside, and I thought that was very consistent with the work I do. I'm project manager. I work for Cerulean, and I help implement green stormwater infrastructure projects. So I work with TTF on their upstream suburban Philadelphia projects as part of the Delaware River Watershed Initiative. And I write grants and coordinate the projects. And I was happy to be out today. I did see Creek Force 1, and I love the new license plate I saw on it. Creek, I thought that was perfect. I'm glad you could get that one. So happy to be joining you all today. And let me see, I will pass it off to another Susan. Have you gone?
No, I haven't. Thank you. I'm Susan Voles. I'm the new Philly community organizer with TTF. I also don't have a background because I couldn't figure out in time. So that's just my window. I get to hear the birds and the squirrels, which is nice, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty new to TTF, so excited to be here. And I will pass it to Mark.
Hi, everyone. Mark Camerata with the Philadelphia Water Department, Deputy Water Commissioner in charge of Planning and Environmental Services. I missed the memo on the virtual background, so I'm bereft of one. But I've been feverishly trying to make one in the background here. It's just not working. But I would for sure highlight my dog. Would be my background. Actually, my dog's face and her sloppy wet nose is what I would post. And that's I'm getting enjoyment staring at it on my second screen here, but they wouldn't enjoy it. But no, I love dogs more than anything ever in the history of the world. If I could surround myself with them all day, every day, I would. So that's just a little glimpse into me. Looking in dogs' eyeballs are absolutely wonderful. Instead, you get to see my basement. It's about 20 degrees colder in my basement than the rest of my house. But I got dressed up by taking my hoodie off and just leaving my t-shirt on. So, and then the other thing too is why show a background to de-emphasize the beard that I've been working on for the last couple of months too. So, but that is about it. Roseanne, did you go? I don't know. I don't think.
No, I didn't go yet. Hi, I'm Roseanne Mistretta. I am the Director of Experiential Learning at Abington Friends School, and I'm the board chair of TTF. Very proud to have been the chair for the last few years. I'm also the co-chair of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. So I don't have a virtual background because my computer doesn't support them either, but I have my cabin in the background, and in fact, I'm going to say weirdly, this is one of my cabins because right before the pandemic, we actually were moving to a new cabin, but we haven't sold the old cabin. So I'm right now in the old one, and we're up in the Berkshires. So I'm weirdly the owner of two cabins for this short period of time. But this is my happy place up here in the Berkshires. So let's see. Hans, have you gone?
Hey, thank you very much. My name's Hans Hesselein. I'm with Apiary Studio Landscape Architecture. I'm embarrassed that I didn't set up a virtual background. Sorry about that. But I'm sitting in my home office, and yeah, I love the work that TTF does. I used to work at a urban watershed nonprofit in Brooklyn called the Gowanus Canal Conservancy. So I love volunteer-based watershed stewardship organizations. Love getting my hands dirty, and I think you guys do great work. So happy to participate in this networking and Zoom session. I should pass it on to Kevin, please.
Thanks, Hans. My name's Kevin Gallagher. I'm a consultant, and one of my clients is TTF, which I love working with Julie. And my virtual background is the window, and I also can hear squirrels and birds.
I think that's everybody, right? Yes. So
it
what
is,
we're
but Julie, because I realized I didn't actually introduce myself because I was so wrapped up with my virtual background.
But you did a great job, so please introduce yourself.
So I'm Glenn Abrams. I'm Deputy Commissioner of Communications and Engagement at the Water Department. That's the Public Affairs Division. So I took over from Joanne Dom when she retired last year, 9 months ago. So it's great to be here. I have a long history with TTF because I was at PWD for a number of years for coming back recently. So I was there when the organization started and continued to work with it in my position at the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. And it's great to be back at PWD and get to continue to work with TTF and all the great work that they do. Thank you.
Nice. So, so this should be a challenge for all of you. I did a call where they really, at the beginning of this whole thing about 2 months ago for Rails to Trails, and they really pushed the background. So it was a good thing to learn. And, you know, it's kind of a fun thing to be able to talk about, although Joanne definitely wins the prize. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break up into some rooms. And we have a couple of things that we want to give as ideas to talk about. So one of them is not real hard. It's what's the challenge that your business has experienced recently. So clearly, we're all facing one really big challenge. So I think that's something that people want to talk about. The other one is to try to talk about something light, because we're all trying to take care of each other and do some self-care and smile and laugh. So some potential good stories about working from home, something funny that's happened, or a good thing that's happened this week. So Rita is going to break us up into rooms. That's going to happen any minute, I think. And
Welcome back, everybody. So I'm going to pass it to Julie, who is going to facilitate our debrief from our breakouts.
so we had a really good conversation, and I think I warned everybody that none of us would feel like we had enough time once we started talking, which I think is what happens, which is really good. So I was in a group with Hans and Kevin and Joanne, and I forgot to ask somebody to be the debriefer. So if it's okay with you guys, should I debrief?
Sure.
So we talked about business. We talked about sort of the phases of what's going to happen, sort of what's happened, and then what it's going to be like to prepare for going back to work before there's a vaccine. And Kevin does a lot of work with the state and public agencies, and talking about how this is going to be different until we have a vaccine, in terms of being with other people and protocols, and what we're not going to be hanging out at the water cooler like we did before, and a lot of this kind of health and safety things are going to have to continue if we do go back into the world. We talked about the increase in interest in people growing their own food, and people being outside, and how positive that is in terms of nature. And we talked about, a little bit about Tacony Creek Park and the incredible positive uses that we're seeing, and how we're going to deal with sort of the negative uses. Did I leave anything out?
No, I think you got it.
Of critical importance. It was a really nice group. We want to hang out together again.
Yeah, we certainly do.
So I'm gonna throw this to somebody. Raise their hand who's supposed to report out. Was Susan? Are you reporting out? Susan Harris? Will you report out, Susan Harris?
Oh, Julie Slavitt. So I had in my group, I was in group 4. I had Dorian, I had Nate, I had Laura, and I had Roseanne. And we talked a lot about challenges from working at home, including technical glitches, including children taking over our computers and typing in what they think is funny comments and name changes. We even have cases of Roseanne getting a new roof. So, all of those things are a layer of complication as we try to get our work done. We also talked about, just really enjoying being able to get away from the desk and outside and, visit sites or walk along the creek. And we heard that we missed Taco Tuesdays. So, that's a challenge. And, just, some of the sense of normalcy, trying to still engage in those and, get things accomplished as to the best as possible.
Good. So who else raised their hands about? Will you throw it to someone who raised their hands? Dottie has her hand up. Mark it.
Throw it to Dottie.
Okay. Yeah, it was Susan Volz and Susan Myeroff and Andrea Walker were in my group, and we talked about the switching from being in the presence of everybody when you're interacting with students and whatnot, and then what it means like to be doing it all online, and some of the challenges for universities in terms of how they're going to move forward. These are challenging times for all of us. Some of the humor that we had to do with trying to make Zoom work and what it looks like to see ourselves on Zoom and what does that mean. So, there's a little bit of humor in terms of switching and seeing ourselves as we're talking to other people, as opposed to just being in a meeting with other people. So Mark, I think you were the next one. Go for it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So my group was Emily, Sally, and Glenn. And we really just talked about cleaning our gutters and all the things we found in our gutters. And Sally wins because she found a electric toothbrush in the gutter. So that was.
I hope you use it.
Well,
pretty amazing.
You'd be surprised how many people have asked me that question.
Perfectly acceptable follow-up question.
It's really
Brush heads
funny.
are replaceable. We don't waste. We don't waste. We're about repurposing. But no, really, I mean, our focus was really just working remotely, adapting to it, embracing it, you know, and all feeling the positives of it. Still thinking we're a little more efficient, still able to communicate, still, you know, finding some time to you know, make eye contact with those that we know we need to in our workplace. So we just all kind of gave a little experience of how we're doing working in the remote environment. There was I was hoping for a cat photo bomb from Emily, but she has the cat locked away. So I was really hoping there'd be some animal and some photo at some point today, but that hasn't happened yet. Really, I think yeah, it's animal somewhere. Someone's gonna bring. Yeah. All right, there we go. Tough one. That'll work. That'll work. But really, one of the things I wanted to mention was I was on a call yesterday about you know, kind of returning to kind of the office policy, and someone made a statement that I thought really kind of sunk in with me. Is using the word return to work almost makes it sound like people haven't been working. Kind of returning to the office environment. So that subtle twist on there we go, Susan. Thanks for the cat there. But just you know, those little words about and I had shared a story about kind of essential and non-essential employees at the water department, and how some took that very sensitively about, well, I've given my career, my life, my everyday to this department. All of a sudden I'm non-essential. So I just I wanted to just stress that word of when we do get back to kind of the office environment, if we get back there anytime soon, you know, really just to be careful about the words we choose. And we've all been trying to work in whatever way we can. So returning to the office maybe instead of returning to work. So just share that as well. But for the most part, all positive experiences, kind of working either in the confines of our home, or in Emily's case, the confines of her sister's home in DC. And we all miss the Wissahickon Creek as well. So not just the Tookonie Frankford. There's a little bit of Wissahickon love coming from some of the players on this team too. So. All right, that's it. Thank you. Who else raised their hand? Am I missing?
I think everybody. Did everybody report out? I think that may be the case. So we have. I'm supposed to start wrapping up in about 2 minutes. So I wanted to ask if there's anyone who had anything burning and compelling that they wanted to share that we may have missed talking about. Andrea's already in the bar, so you know that makes it. I'm
joining in.
Laura's. Go ahead, Laura. Burning and compelling.
Oh, now she's stuck.
No, it's not that exciting, but can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes. You get so excited you froze.
Okay, and I commented during my our breakout that we cannot find employees. It's
wow. Yeah.
If anyone that wants a job, tell Julie and she'll tell me, please.
Okay.
Thanks.
I wanted to give a shout out to TTF because you guys are doing a great job with your media stuff. I'm watching what you're putting out, and you've got educational activities. You have engaging the community. You've got the possibility of people planting seeds. You've got the possibility of people cleaning up. You have activities, the scavenger hunt. You've done iNaturalist. I'm really impressed with what you're doing.
Dottie, I think you're right behind TTF. I see you really active on social media with videos about watershed education. It's been great. Good work.
So thank you. So now I'm going to wrap up. That was really nice, Dottie. One of the things that we wanted to just mention is if people enjoyed this and found this productive, enjoyable, some combination of those, please let us know, because as I said, we are, we like bringing people together, and we've been bringing community people together. We've had meetings of our keepers group. Ryan has stayed in touch with the stream keepers. But if folks, if our partner alliance members want to stay connected, we are happy to try to figure out how to do that. We also would love to sort of tell you more about what Dottie mentioned, which is how we are really, how we've really adapted to this environment in terms of staying connected to the community, and really had to pivot and really think outside of the box in terms of how we're going to connect, and the challenges that has as we go forward, to figure that out as we get more out in the park. One of the things that I've done is I have a group of other women executive directors of nonprofits, and we meet every Monday at lunchtime. And part of the meeting, a good part of the meeting is really kind of fetching, but it's very, feels really good. And the other part of the meeting is figuring out how we're going to get stuff done and get people paid. And that's a group that includes like Maura McCarthy from the head of the Fairmount Park Conservancy, and Kim Washington from the Frankfurt CTC. So, this was a good idea, but I think that we can all do those kind of connections. And people are really lonely and looking for support. So pulling together, I'm giving you a charge, pulling together like other engineering professors, although you guys probably get to spend time together, Andrea, but other communications people. For those of us who work for small organizations, it's hard to be, but you're not really part of all of these kind of networks. So we just decided we were going to make our own network. And I think that's something that people should think about doing as well. So I'm gonna, I think we're almost done. Did people like this event? Can we get a thumbs up if people were happy with this? Good. Please, Emily was very worried about this. I told her it would be fantastic. And because of, I have to tell you, we really were not, I really wasn't focused on getting the Creekmobile out. I really hadn't focused on that, I have to confess. And then we had a board meeting and Joanne talked about how positive that would be for people to be able to see that. And whenever I drive it, I always wondered why people weren't like pointing and beeping at me because it's so fabulous. Now that there's so fewer cars and trucks on the street, it really does sort of stick out when you see it coming down the street. So we are using it more because you inspired us to. So.
Well, it's beautiful. I'm so glad you're using it because.
Yeah. Oh, and like I said, it will be out on Friday delivering trees.
Oh,
that's great. Yay.
So my bosses here, Rita and Emily, is there anything else you wanted me to say?
That's all. It sounds like everybody really enjoyed this event and that, perhaps it's worth doing another one in the future.
I think so. And we have, we have made the decision to postpone milestones till November. But, we're keeping that, that's tentative. I think we need to say that because we're not sure what November is going to bring. So we've got that date on our calendar, but we will keep everyone posted because we're not sure if that will be a possibility or not. So thank you. Thank you to Partner Alliance members. We really appreciate your support. We love you, and please stay in touch.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
Have a good evening.
See you, everybody. Thanks.